Greetings, Boris and Ghouls. This is Dr. Von Mad, and today we're going to be working on something completely different. I had an idea, and I don't know how well it's going to work, but we're going to try it anyways. Tell you in advance what you need. These little wooden discs. They come from Craftwood, Walmart. These basically little wooden circles. You're going to need a drill, which I'll get out when the time comes. Some paint or brown paint, because what I'm going to do is stain this. And you'll need a dowel rod, which is going to fit in the middle, and you're going to need some Sculpey, and since we're working with Sculpey, I'm going to need my tools. Let's see if I can get these out without any kind of drama. Here we are. Now, and some paint, but we'll get to the paint next. So, I'll be right back and we'll start up. Okay. And yeah, I'm bringing down this light because I need to be able to see. So right now what we got is a piece of clay. Now, what I'm going to try to do is the head of a dinosaur. And what I want to do is mount it onto this and then have it like this kind of a weird little bust type thing going on. So we're going to start with this piece of clay I got right here. So let's go ahead and get this worked in. And let's see if we can make this happen, Captain. Right now, I'm not even sure the species that I'm going to be working with, but I'm kind of getting an idea now looking at it. I'm going to have to thin this out because I got to have a neck on this. And we'll cut it off right here, but we're not going to put like a bleeding stump or anything. That would just be creepy, even for me. Now, I'm going to bring this snout out just a hair. So what I'm looking at is a long, deep snout. Now, we're going to come over here. We're going to pinch off some horns of sorts. So let's make sure these are nice and even. I think what I'm going to be working on today is a Carnotaurus, which is a South American theropod. Kind of a really odd duck because his skull's not shaped like other theropods. He's got a really kind of a wide or a narrow, deep snout. Not like a T-Rex's, and he's got these weird horn-like things, and he's covered in weird osteoderms, and just all in all a strange-looking critter. So I'm going to put a few little nodules right here. So there's our basic shape. And this is, of course, Sculpey, so it won't harden until I am ready for it to. I'm going to move this camera around where I can work, where you can see what I'm doing. Okay, the first thing let's do is let's map out the jaws. So what we're going to do is we're going to come around here and up around here, and I'll probably do a little bit of carving around there, because I'm not real sure. Okay, we started right under the eye. Now, go ahead and get my little looper right here, this little tool, little hook. I'll come up under here. And we'll kind of, now we're going to leave some of this right in here because I want to give him that bit of a characteristic theropod overbite, but we'll get to that in a minute. Go ahead and get the rest of this mouth shaped out, because I do want it to kind of look like it's not just a line cut in here. We're not drawing a Charlie Brown character after all. Okay. Now, Let's go up here. Pull this up. Now, what we're going to do now is I'm going to clean the end off this point because I need this point to be as fine as humanly possible. Make sure I can get this on camera here, because that would be sort of defeating the whole point if I cannot. And he's also an odd one in the fact that he does not have his mouth full of butcher knife teeth. He's got a bunch of really kind of, they're big teeth, but they're not like huge. He was from South America, and he was I believe, an Abelisaurid. Anybody that watches this stuff can correct me. I'm going to move this camera just a hair more. My arm's getting a little sore trying to keep it at an angle for y'all. Now, we're going to do this. We're going to come up here now. We're going to see if we can get in underneath here and kind of do this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come up here and kind of, I want it to fold under the lip. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring that down. Now, we kind of need to get a bit of a, kind of carve this down just a hair. There's a lot of conjecture about this creature because his arms were like uber tiny. He just kind of had these little chicken wing arms that were just kind of hanging out. It really didn't look like they served any purpose and were probably in the process of going away for good. Now, here I could go with the process of maybe putting a strap up here for the lip, but it's kind of lazy sculpting, so I'm going to see if I can carve this if I can. For one thing, the final product, at least through my experiences with Marblex, will have a much stronger integrity if I do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut now here, and I'll come up here. We're going to cut underneath here. I want these teeth to be kind of noticeable. Another one that I thought about doing one of was Dimetrodon. This is, while he's not a dinosaur, he's an interesting creature. Alright, we're going to come up underneath here because I need this kind of whittled down. I'm going to go ahead and get some of this extra clay off this point because I've been accruing it. Once you master doing busts and things, all sorts of things can open up to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, we're going to move this into place. And I have to do this in small doses. My hands are not as swooped as they used to be. Back to our blade here because I got to get this stuff underneath this lip. And then there we go. Now let's go back up here. Like I said, there's a lot of conjecture over old Carnotaurus here. Because, like I said, he just had kind of... Now, I've got my own theories, but I'm no paleontologist. But, as Bob Backer once said, if you want to see what an animal actually does, look at animals in the zoo, or in the wild. What I see is a carnivore with these big horn thingies over his head, over his eyes, which to me, if you look at it in the right angle, you can see when the sun's shining down, it'll shade his eyes, which means that whatever it is, he's trying to keep the sun out of his eyes. He's got really long legs for his size. He's very slightly built, very gracile. And what that tells me is that he was probably a runner, and Not real sure about this. Kind of a deep sort of snout. This is kind of a bulldog sort of snout. As you see, he's got a really short nose compared to other dinosaurs, especially other theropods. Now, I believe they said they found skin impressions of this guy, and he was like covered in little scales or osteoderms, kind of pebbly, kind of like a Gila monster. What this is all leading me to think is maybe this dude was a desert dweller. Because, I mean, think about it. He's got these horns to block the eyes to keep him from getting sun in his eyes. He's got long legs which allow him to cover ground rapidly in the desert like a roadrunner. And he's got these osteoderms on there which would help him to release heat and to conserve water much more efficiently than, say, something covered in, I don't know, feathers. So now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to try to avoid doing any damage to the scale or to the teeth. I'm going to try to do a little bit of something right in here to kind of give him a kind of pressing the snout just a hair here. Now, the eyes are the windows to the soul, but we'll get to those in a few minutes. Right now, we're going to come up here and we're going to make his snout. I'm trying to make sure I keep this on camera. I've been fussed at about getting out of focus before. And I mean, it's a fair cop. If you notice, the fish fry was all over the place, but like I said, it was kind of a disaster. Did the best I could with the situation I had, though, so. Now, see, he's going to set kind of on this base like this right here. Now, I'm going to let's work on his eye. Now, the eyes of these things probably a little more bird-like, but I don't know. Let's see, we're going to come in here because eyeballs are not just little flat drawings on the face. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put a kind of a eyelid. Now, up here, I'll bring back the pointy tool here. There we go. Bring back this tool. Now we're going to come underneath here and bring this eye around. Now I'm not real sure what color I'm going to paint the eye, but believe it or not, that's kind of important. Because I mean, the eye kind of tells the whole creature. If you give him kind of a white in his eye, he's going to look more mammalian and kind of mess up the whole point of the fact that they were probably more closely related to birds than they are mammals. I gave him kind of a narrow eye. I may end up widening that just a hair's breadth. So I did not want his eye that narrow. Now, there we go. It's not too bad. Now, we're going to bring him around. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and drill out this so that I can put him on there. And I'm going to use that as a means of holding him up so that I don't damage the eye that I'm working on when I'm working on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold that like that. Let's go ahead and kind of check the eye out. I'm going to bring in the thing, try to hold it from top to bottom. The real fun's going to be the scales, and I may end up trying to carve those after the thing has dried, after the clay is hardened. because just simply put, there's a lot of little osteoderms, and if I'm not uber careful, I'm going to erase my previous work while I'm putting in the current work. So now let's compare the eyes. I don't like that, but let me see what I can do with it. Go ahead and maybe it's because of the fact that I don't have this lower eyelid in place. Now, as you can see, the basic shape of the head is complete now. But now we got to work on some bone structure because his head's just kind of a lump of clay with a few little details. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here under here because I want he's got to have a defined jaw. And put a little bit of an indentation in here for the jaw to kind of show that it's there. And there we are. Now, see what I can do about some sort of osteoderms. Now, I could just go on and just kind of put them on individually like a filigree, but that would just take forever and a day. So what I propose to do is I'm going to carve them off once we're done. I'm going to go ahead and bake the head on this thing, and we'll do the detail work on it when I'm done. So, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, we have our heads out of the oven, and now we're going to see if we can do a little carving. We're going to see if this will work at all. Hopefully it will. If not, I'll have to probably resculpt the head, and I don't really want to do that. So let's see if we can do this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come up here, and let's see if I can just noddle out a little bit of this here. Oh yeah. I'll just have to be very gentle. The reason I'm starting with the lips on this thing, because I don't want to damage it. And you can't see them too good right now. I'm hoping that you'll be able to see it a little bit more once it's dry, once I paint it. So I'm gonna see if I can. Now, this is probably gonna be a fairly long video, so go ahead and grab this tool out. I'll see what other tools we got in here. Because I've got a couple of these triangle blades here, and they may be good for some things. Let's see if this will work here. I don't like the fact that I don't have the control with this that I do with the precision here. But I'm also going to try one other thing. Now this may be that bridge too far, but we're going to try it and see. I want to see if I can actually. Oh yeah. Bring it around here. It's going to be very time consuming. The main reason I didn't do this while the clay was still wet, was still soft, is because the fact that had I done so, I would have risked erasing my work as I was trying to create it. So it's going to be a very delicate business, this. We'll have to see. I'm hoping that this will stick out. It's my first time trying this technique. So let's see what happens. See how this looks on the camera here. I don't know if you can see it particularly well. I'm hoping it'll show up a little bit better on the when I paint it, because it's going to be some really fine lining here. Now, see if I can put some little nodules here. This is going to be a bit of time. And I'm going to do this over a period probably of days, maybe even weeks. Let's see if you can see it under the light good. You can just barely see what I'm doing. But you can see, so let's see. Let me clean off the blade and keep going here. I would not want to try to do the entire creature like this, though. With that, if I did that, I'd have to come up with some sort of jig to make this feasible. Bear with me, I know I'm not talking a whole lot. I'm trying to concentrate. So far, so good. Well, even probably gonna have to stop here in a minute. This has affected my hands. So I'll tell you what, we're gonna stop for right now and let my hands rest, and I will go upload this and you will see this thing as it unfolds. See, basically the idea is that this is going to fit like right like this, and then it's going to be mounted onto a pole like this where you can act, and I'll probably cut this down a bit shorter, so it'll probably be down like maybe like that, and it'll be mounted dead center on this, which will be a nice wood stain. So it's not bad, it's off to a good start. So, if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to get notified. Don't forget to follow us on Pinterest, Patreon, and Facebook. And I will see you guys, one and all, on the flip side. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. And God bless.